Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to do a quick short video discussing the fact that Google just announced that they are turning into Apple. Leaving jokes aside, in all seriousness, last week they had Google I/O, a big conference for them, where they announced a lot of different hardware products, more products than they've actually had on sale in years. And we're going to take a quick look at some of them, leaving the juicy Pixel 6a versus iPhone SE discussion for the last. Now, before we get into the video, there's an excellent article I need to point you to in 9 to 5 Google, I believe, where they said this Pixel line, basically the hardware business, is going to remain a vanity project of sorts for Google because it's never going to contribute a lot of revenue to their overall company, and as such, it's just a way for them to keep the fans happy. Well, consider me a fan and consider me happy because I'm looking forward to most of these products, so let's get to it. They announced the new Pixel 7 line, which is basically a refinement of last year's Pixel 6. This announcement came with a full design reveal, and I have to say I actually dig the design overall. I think it looks really cool, and it's pretty clear that the image portrayed by the Pixel 6 has caught on, and it's now basically the design of the entire Pixel lineup, and looks really cool. The sad part is we have to wait several months to actually see it come out. I think Google just hated on leakers. They just didn't want to have leaks for the next 3 or 4 months, so they just went ahead and announced it. Yeah, this one's coming in the fall. Looking forward to it. I'm really keen to see if they keep the same pricing as before, which is really a competitive advantage for the Pixel 6 at this time. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Next up, they copied one from Apple and released the long-awaited, often rumored Pixel Watch. It has a cool puck-like design, a minimalist design overall, with interchangeable bands. Looks pretty neat, and this one's also launching in the autumn, so there's still some time left before the official launch. It's going to actually be launching alongside the Pixel 7 generation. Now, in the few days following the announcement, there have been a lot of rumors. One has been consistent about the Pixel Watch that it's going to be using a Samsung Exynos chip from 2018, which is pretty dated at this point. I really hope that kind of rumor is wrong, because let's be honest, coming out with 4-year-old hardware is not really a great place to start if Google is serious about smartwatches. We'll just have to wait and see on this one. Next up, we have Google's own version of the AirPods, labeled the Pixel Buds Pro. Right now they have the Pixel Buds A, I believe, on sale for $99. The Pixel Buds Pro are going to be $200, so a little bit more expensive, twice as expensive actually. But crucially, they match Apple's own AirPods Pro, I think, feature for feature. So they have active noise cancellation, they have decent battery life, an IP certification rating. They look really cool. They integrate out of the box with Pixel phones automatically, so you don't need to manually pair them via Bluetooth every time. All sorts of cool features, and they're priced cheaper than the AirPods Pro, which I actually really like. These ones are coming a little bit earlier, if I recall. End of July is when they're going to be officially available for purchase, so they look like a solid product. Also, we got a glimpse at a future product. We're talking about the 2023 tablet, the Pixel tablet, which is Google's first real tablet in some time. I believe the previous one they had was called the Pixel Slate or something, or the Google Slate or whatever. It was actually running Chrome OS. It wasn't running Android. This one's going to be running Android. By the looks of it, it looks like a cheap entry-level tablet, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm super interested. And the fact that it's running Android and that Google talked a little bit about Android on tablets, it means they're going to pay more attention to the tablet market than ever before, or at least than they've been doing for the past few years, where Apple has overtaken them so hard. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm kind of saddened by the fact that it's probably another year about there until the official launch, but we'll just have to wait and see. And last but not least, the most important product that Google announced last week in terms of hardware is, unsurprisingly, the Pixel 6a. And if we're joking that Google is becoming more like Apple, well, this is the point in the video when we have to say that Apple needs to start copying more of Google's homework here, because Google just showed them how they should have designed the iPhone SE in reality. So the Pixel 6a has the same exterior looks as the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Obviously, it has the distinctive camera bar on the back, so it borrows very heavily in the design part from the more expensive Pixel phones. I think it looks actually really cool. More on that camera bar. This is where this Pixel A will differ from its predecessors. This is a pretty massive break in tradition on Google's part. They're not taking the 50 megapixel camera from the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, and they're sticking with the older 12 megapixel from the predecessors. Now you can look at this two ways. One, you can call it obsolete. Obviously they're using an older sensor, it's not going to be as good. Or the second camp, which is where I'm at, they're using a tried and tested formula in terms of hardware. They're pairing it with a much more capable chipset than ever before, and as such the camera capabilities should still be outstanding. Why am I thinking that the Pixel 6a is what Apple should copy when it designs the next SE, at least in terms of the overall design and the overall thinking of the product? Because the 6a has all the ingredients missing from the SE. First of all, it has a large display, a 6.1-inch OLED panel if I recall correctly, which is a lot more usable in day-to-day life than the small 4.7-inch one on the iPhone SE. It has a large all-day battery life, so basically I think Google is quoting it for 26 hours or thereabouts, so definitely going to be an all-day phone with a little bit of care, which is absolutely fantastic. The iPhone SE still has relatively poor battery life compared to other mid-range phones. It still has a flagship level grade chip inside, so the Google Tensor chip is also found in the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. So Google is also putting a very capable chip in the phone. Overall, I think the Pixel 6a looks absolutely fantastic. Oh, and Google seems to have been learning from their mistakes. One of the most hated aspects of the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro respectively with users and reviewers, something that I found generally mentioned by a lot of people, is the in-display fingerprint sensor, which has been kind of under par for the Pixel 6 so far. Google is changing the sensor for the Pixel 6a. Now, we don't know for a fact it's going to be better or worse or the same, but reasonable thinking would be, well, of course, if they're going to change it, they're probably going to try and make it better than the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Pretty cool that Google's learning from that, and yeah, I like the Pixel 6a. I think it's absolutely fabulous. The really bad news about it, it's launching in late July, like something like 2 months from now. It feels like Google is doing a tech with Andre style thing here, where I have a video idea today and I end up doing it 2 weeks later. Google is kind of doing the same thing. I'm gonna guess it's due to the supply chain issues. Whatever other reason, it's coming out rather late in the life cycle, so the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro will be nearly a year old at that point, and will be bound to be replaced in a month or two whenever Google announces the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. The next generation of Pixel usually gets announced in the autumn, so the 6a launches very, very close to that, but it still retains its $450 price, $449 if I recall correctly. So that's absolutely fantastic. I think the Pixel 6a is definitely going to be a very, very solid buy for a lot of people. And that's about it for today's video. As usual, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and drop a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know what do you think about Google's latest hardware push. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next one.